FPL Game Week 10 players to buy. Guys, let's get right into it. Obviously, you have to like and subscribe. It's a non-negotiable, so make sure you're doing that before the video starts. Thank you very much. Now guys, we are going to be looking at 6 players in total for you to buy in Game Week 10, okay? Some defenders, some midfielders, and some forwards. In fact, we're only looking at forwards and defenders, guys. There's actually not a midfielder in this video, which, is normally not the case. So yeah, we got 2 players from Wolves, 2 players from Liverpool, we got 1 from Fulham, and 1 from Brentford. So let's get into it. First of all, we're going to be looking at Wolves, who have the best fixture run in the game right now. And even though we can only see their next 6 fixtures here, they extend far beyond the next 6. So yeah, definitely players here you can get cheap and long term, which will be so good for your FPL team. So guys, these ones you really want to consider. First up, we're going to be looking at Cunha, who is without a doubt the best asset to get from Wolves. He's not got a load of expected data at the moment because, he's had some hard games. I think in these first 9 game weeks, he's played the 5 best teams in the league. So you cannot expect much from the expected data. But guys, even with the low data, he's done well so far. He's got some goals and he's got some assists. He's doing well. So just imagine what he can do in the easy games for your FPL team. And he's also someone that always overperforms his expected goals, which is what I love about a player in FPL. If you guys can't afford Cunha, then you've got Strand Larsen at 1 million cheaper. While Strand Larsen is not as good as Cunha, if you can't afford Cunha and you can afford Strand Larsen, definitely go for Larsen because he is also a pretty good asset. These are the only 2 Wolves attackers you should be looking at. Cunha, definitely worth the extra 1 mil, but if you can't afford him, definitely go for Larsen. I'm not going to talk about it much in this video, but his data isn't that much different to Cunha. He's just not as clinical as Cunha. So yeah, 2 good attackers here. Next up, we got another great attacker for Wolves, but he's actually a defender. We're looking at Ryan Aït-Nouri now, guys. In these first 9 game weeks, Ryan Aït-Nouri, as a 4.5, 4.6 million defender, has got 5 goal involvements, 3 goals, 2 assists, which is insane numbers for a cheap defender. Especially, considering the fact that he's played some really tough games, he's still come away with a lot of goal involvements. But with that being said, I wouldn't expect another 5 goal involvements from Ryan Aït-Nouri in the next 9 games, even though the next 9 games are a lot easier than the previous 9 games. I mean, his expected goal involvements for a defender is top 3 in the game, but still, it's not that high to justify 5 goal involvements. Maybe 2 or 3 goal involvements in the next 9 is more of a reliable number, more of a realistic number, but you can expect his points to go up in the forms of clean sheets anyway, making up for that lacking goal involvements. And even if you've already got Ryan Aït-Nouri, it's not even an awful idea to double up on the Wolves defence if you want to with another player like Semedo. I wouldn't personally go for it, but it's not the worst idea. I mean, home to Palace and home to Southampton and a lot more easy games to follow. It's really tempting me because I think Wolves have really good chances of a clean sheet in these next few games. Now guys, next up we're going to look at the Liverpool fixture run now. The fixture run isn't great, guys. I'm going to be honest, the next 3 are quite good. The next 2 then after that, they kind of get quite hard. But then the 2 after that get easy again. So you've kind of just got a run of good games, but 2 hard ones in the middle. Now, looking at Liverpool, okay, the biggest problem with the Liverpool attack is the fact you can't really get reliable minutes from anyone. There's always some rotation risk somewhere. But with the Jota injury, Darwin Nunes is expected to start the next 6 game weeks. He's not been a good asset all season, so you're probably confused as to why I'm recommending him. But guys, Liverpool is arguably the best attack in the league, and you've got a 7 million option for guaranteed starts. Well, not guaranteed, but insanely likely starts in that attack. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. Even in the tough games, Liverpool can score 2 or 3 goals past anyone in the world. So it's not a bad idea to pick a reliable starting striker from that team who's only costing you 7 mil. Guys, it's a really good idea to go for Darwin Nunes, especially, if you're sick of Haaland and you want to save a lot of money. Maybe you want to get rid of Ollie Watkins. There's a few forwards you could want to sell, and Darwin Nunes is probably, I think, the best one to go for, in my opinion. I can't afford him, so I'm not going to go for him. But I do really like the idea of Darwin Nunes. He's definitely going to be a big time differential as well. Someone not many people are going to think about. So yeah, definitely consider Nunes. Just be aware, some of your high expected goals chances are going to be put wide because that's what he does sometimes. But he usually makes up for it from scoring from outside the box, an absolute screamer worth 0.02 expected goals. You guys get what I'm trying to say. It's risky, but I think it'll be worth it and I think it'll pay off. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Liverpool defence. Now, with Gabriel probably being out for the next 2 or 3 weeks, it's good to look for a different defender. Now, I'm willing to bet a lot of you have around at least 1 million in the bank, considering a lot of the mid-price players are being outperformed by the cheap players, and you may want to sell a premium like Haaland, a premium like Son, who isn't doing well, and you probably have some money in the bank. If you don't, I apologise, but Trent is the best replacement for Gabriel or your other Arsenal defender like Saliba, or just in general, going for a player if you've got plenty of money in the bank. He has the 4th most expected assists in the game. He's been very, very unlucky to only have 1 assist so far this season. You have Saka, who's got, 0.3 expected assists more than him, but he's got 6 more actual assists. So yeah, very unlucky for Trent, I'm going to be honest. But on top of that expected assist potential, he's also got high clean sheet potential. And when Liverpool do keep a clean sheet, he's also got huge potential for bonus points. And you know, the fact he's also on set pieces is another huge reason to go for him. And I think these next 3 easy game weeks, there's no better time to do it. And like I said, even in the tough games, he's on a lot of set pieces. He could come away with an assist, or they could shut out the other team and they could come away with a clean sheet. You just never know. So yeah, guys, that's the Liverpool and Wolves players wrapped up. We're going to go straight into the Fulham player now. We're not going to look at all 6 next fixtures. You can see the next 4 fixtures in the slideshow thingy. Fulham's next 4 games, 3 of them are really good. Now, guys, we're looking at Raul Jimenez here. Raul Jimenez is a cheap forward who's proven himself over the last few game weeks. He's really cheap, high expected goals. Someone a lot of you safer players would want to go for because he's very reliable, good fixtures. What's not to love about him, really? I mean, he's going to save you lots of money as well. A lot of people have him already, and he's still not the highest owned, so his points will still positively affect you quite a lot. With that being said, while I do think Raul Jimenez is a great option and probably the safest option you could go for when looking for a cheap forward, I do prefer players like Cunha and Strand Larsen because I like to play a bit more differential sometimes, and the Cunha and Strand Larsen pick could be way more long term. Like I said, their fixture run goes on for ages, like at least 10 game weeks with not really a proper hard game in it. So I do prefer those Wolves options. But Raul Jimenez, if you want to play it safe, you want to go for someone who's proven himself over the last couple of weeks, Raul Jimenez is definitely your guy to go for. And finally, guys, we have yet another forward who is not that expensive. And we're going to be looking at Wiese. Now, guys, I've already named a few forwards. Why would you put Wiese over these guys who are already really good? Well, Wiese, the next 4 game weeks, they're pretty solid. I mean, away to Fulham, which you'd be bringing him in for, is not the easiest, but it's a pretty solid game. And the 3 that followed that are quite easy. After those 4, though, they do get kind of difficult. There's a few hard games straight after it. So you have to understand with Wiese, if you bring him in, you may want to transfer him out in the next 4 game weeks. But I imagine he'll be quite successful in the next 4 weeks, that he probably won't be a player that you want to sell even for the hard games with the amount of value he's offering at a cheap price of 6 million. He's also going to hurt Mbeumo a little bit because when Wiese plays for Brentford, he hogs all of the expected goals. Before he got injured, Mbeumo wasn't getting as many expected goals as he was when Wiese was injured. So yeah, just be careful about that. I mean, Mbeumo's definitely still worth keeping, but yeah, just beware. He's going to take a little bit away from Mbeumo. Out of all the 4 forwards I've named, Wiese probably does come 4th, if I'm going to be honest. He's not the strongest option here, but some of you may really like him. Obviously, looking at the recent expected data, he's been injured for a lot of it, so we're going to be looking at the early season when he was getting loads. And even the first game he comes back from injury, he ends up, nearly scoring a brace. I mean, he got given an assist, I think, for one of them, even though his shot was already on target, which is kind of weird, to be honest. But the fact he's come back so strong is a reason why a lot of you guys should be going for him in your teams. Anyway, guys, that is the list of players for you to buy in Game Week 10. Let me know what you think of it. If you were looking to bring in a midfielder, many apologies. I just don't think there's many good ones to target this game week. I mean, the best I could think of was Brennan Johnson, but even then, he is not great. So yeah, we're just going to steer clear of them for now. Next game week, there'll be more opportunities for them. Anyway, guys, if you did make it this far, thank you very much. You are greatly appreciated, and I will see you in the next video.